Hey everybody, it's Miss Carrie back again with another guitar lesson for you guys. Today we'll be going over notes on the E string, which is the first string on the guitar. You will find this on page 7 of our Mel Bay Grade 1 book that we use in our classes. So for the E string, which is sometimes referred to as the high E string, because we do have another E string, that's going to be our 6th string or our lowest string on the guitar. Our E string is our first string. E is going to be represented by the top space of the staff. So as you remember from our previous video, we discussed that the spaces of the staff spell the word face from the bottom to the top. So we have F, A, C, E. This would be our E. This is the E associated with face and not the E associated with the lines that every good band deserves funding E. This is the face E, okay? Now it's really bad practice to write letters in your notes because we have those duplicates. So as long as you memorize that face and the space and that every good band deserves funding, you will be in great shape. So E is going to be our first string open. Now the E first string open means that I'm playing the string open and freely. I'm not going to be fretting a note. In other words, I won't be pushing down any notes. I'll just be playing the string all by itself. So that E is always represented by the top space of the staff. Now it doesn't matter if it's a whole note, if it's a half note like this, or if it's a quarter note like this. If the note is inside the top space, that's how you're going to know it's E. Now the most common question that my students ask me when they're first starting out how to play guitar is, how do I know that that is E? Well, you have to memorize this. You have to memorize that this top space represents the first string open. There's no other way that I can tell you, but you just have to simply memorize those things. I recommend that if you have trouble associating the notes with the staff, that you make flashcards. We'll go over that in another video, but we're just going to continue going through our E string now. So E is our first string open, represented by the top space of the staff. The F note, as you can see, is going to be different because this note is going to be going through the line. Now, because this is a line note and not a space note, we're using the every good band deserves funding sequence, okay? So this F, which is going through the top line, again, it doesn't matter if it's a whole note like this, a half note like this, or a quarter note like this. If the note is going through the top line, that means that it is an F. When I play F, I will be using the first fret on the first string, and I'll be pressing down the note with my first finger. In guitar, my first finger is going to be my index finger, okay? As you can see in the picture here, they're going to show us as well. So my index finger will be holding down the first string, first fret. Now the next note that we're going to have is a G. G is going to be up above outside of the staff. Now unfortunately this note does not go along with our face and the space in our every good band deserves funding because it extends outside of the staff. So you just have to straight up memorize this. This is G. Remember that it moves in alphabetical order, so if you're remembering that this particular line represents F, obviously after F comes G in the alphabet, so that's one way that you could think about it, as alphabetically. If you know the note that came before it, then you could know the note that comes after it. So G is actually going to be on the 3rd fret, and we'll be using our ring finger for this particular note, okay? So E will be open, F will be first, and G will be 3rd. So E, we're not using any finger because we're not fretting that note. F is going to be our index finger on the 1st fret, 1st string, and then G is going to be on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. So all of these notes are only going to be played on the high E string. We will not be using any other string but the E string or the 1st string for this particular page. Now it's going to show you pictures here. It's also going to show you pictures here. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here, so if you'd like to screenshot this or if you have the book at home to follow along, what we're going to go over quickly is the whole notes, half notes, and quarter notes. So basically what we're going to do is I'm going to run you through what they are, and then I'm going to play them for you guys, okay? Our first line here is only going to be whole notes, so all these notes should ring out for 4 beats. We don't want to let the note stop before we've reached that 4 beat mark, okay? So basically the book does not explain this, but this little symbol here that looks like a staple is going to signify a downstroking motion of our pick. If you are using a pick, then you would be applying a downstroke. Now on a nylon guitar, traditionally we don't use pick, so that would not apply to you. But honestly, if you want to use a pick, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it in my eyes. So if you're playing on a steel string guitar, you don't have to use a pick, but you're probably going to develop a blister here on your thumb. So I would probably recommend that you do that. So we're going to have an E, open as our first note. So it'll go E, and then we'll do another E, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll do an F, 2, 3, 4. Remember our first fret, first string. Another F, 2, 3, 4, and then a G, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, and F, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm going to play this in another video. It's just I can't show you and play it for you at the same time, unfortunately. My technology is not that good at home. So our next line here is going to go over half notes that receive 2 beats. So for our half notes, remember our half notes were over 2 beats of time. So they will be shorter than our whole notes were, okay? Now again, it's going to show us these down picking motion symbols here. So remember, you're going to be down picking here. So the notes will be as follows. We'll have an E, E, so that was open string E, E. Then we're going to go G, 3rd fret, first string. So we're going to go G, G, then we're going to go F, F, and back to E open. And then we rest. Okay, now when we rest, we're going to stop the string. Now we just briefly talked about what rests were and what the different types of rests were on page 6, but when we actually execute a rest, we can do it in a variety of different ways that I'm going to go over when we actually play these. So we'll go a little bit more in depth on that. To go over the last line real quickly before I do the video on actually how to play it, and I'm going to play it for you. Our quarter notes will be as follows, again with the downstroke motion. E, E, F, F, G, G, E, E, F, F, G, G, F, F, E, and we rest, okay? So that's our quarter note line here. And we also see the quarter rest here, so we know that rest is worth 1 beat, and our half rest here is worth 2 beats. And remember, we have our 3 types of notes, the wholes, the halves, and the quarters. We do have a common time signature here, so remember each of these will show 4 beats per measure, okay? And again, we have our treble clef symbol there. So that's page 7 in a nutshell, and I'm going to go ahead in this next video and actually play it for you guys. So hope you guys enjoy. Tune in for our next video so I can actually play along with you guys, okay?